welcome back to the House of Fins. My name is Danny and I'm going to walk you through some of the really cool things we have in stock this week. Alright, first off we have the Rosa fascia wrasse. This really beautiful member of the fairy wrasse and pintail wrasse family would be an awesome addition to anyone's reef tanks. It's got that really beautiful color to it. It was first described in 1982. It's broadly found in Fiji, New Caledonia, Palau, Samoa, and the Philippines. Some specimens that come from the Coral Sea in Australia are the nicest, and certain specimens have been caught at depths of over 325 feet. This one in particular is a super male, which just means that its colors are extremely enhanced. Alright, next up we have the Crosshatch Triggerfish. These particular ones right here are actually a pair. These guys can be found in Hawaii and can max out at around 11 to 12 inches. You can keep them in pairs in really big tanks, like I'm talking like 600 gallons or more. You could even keep them in groups. They're fairly peaceful, and they're also somewhat considered reef safe. You just want to keep them, you want to keep an eye on them with any types of invertebrates. And another little fun fact about these is they'll actually vocalize using grunting sounds. Since these fish are collected in Hawaii and Hawaii has banned all collection of their fish recently, these guys are going to be significantly harder to come by in the trade. You can differentiate between the males and the females, with the males having the red tail and the yellow outlining on their fins, whereas the females have red outlining on their fins and a less yellow tail. Alright, next up we have the beautiful and graceful walking batfish. You can find this species all throughout the Caribbean. These guys have modified pectoral and pelvic fins to help them move throughout the seafloor. They're really peaceful bottom-dwelling fish. They can be considered reef safe, but I'd keep an eye on them with any types of shrimp that you might have. You also want to be cautious with other fish you keep with them, just because they're so peaceful and they just kind of stand still the whole time. They actually have a lure on the front of their face. They also get the name long-nosed batfish because of it, that they'll use to lure in prey, and when the prey gets too close, they'll jump up and grab it. These guys will eat mostly crustaceans, small feeder fish, and even ghost shrimp. Last but most certainly not least, I bring you the sea moth. This little guy is so cool. He's one of my favorite fish in the shop right now. They're also known as the little dragonfish. You can find these guys in the Philippines and in Sumatra. Their diet is going to consist mostly of things like amphipods, copepods, live brine and mysis shrimp. You can keep them either singly or in pairs even. Fun fact, these guys are actually monogamous in the wild, which is adorable. They actually shed their skin very similar to like what bugs do when they end up growing. They can be reef compatible. You want to just make sure that you're keeping them with other slower moving animals, things like seahorses and pipefish, which they're actually distantly related to, and other like small gobies and things, just so they won't be outcompeted for food. Thank you for tuning in for this week's video. Be sure to leave a like, as well as following us on all of our social media platforms, being Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll see you next week.